G'day, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to RC Model Reviews. Well, as you probably saw from the title of this video, today I'm talking about the CaddX Ascent Lite system, which was on pre-order, and I ordered one. And true to their word, CaddX shipped on the very day they said they would, and it has finally arrived here in New Zealand, the bottom of the earth, during our glorious summer. And what did I get for my money? Well, I got a couple of boxes. Here's one of them. Ta-da! That's the VTX, that's the air unit you might say, and contained in this box are, as you can see, there was a little circuit board, which is the VTX, there was a camera and the connecting lead, there was an antenna, and also there was this cable. See this cable? Let me hold it up so you can see. It's got a USB-A on one end and a little connector on the other. And I was thinking, oh, this must be to update the video transmitter. What a great idea. And then I looked at the video transmitter and there's nothing to plug it into. There's no connector on the video transmitter that will take that little cable. So I don't know what they're thinking at CaddX. They're sending you a cable you can't use and a VTX you can't update. Oh, I guess they know what they're doing, perhaps. Anyway, it seems to be quite functional. As I suspected, it's just the guts out of the Protos. It's the little VTX board, camera and antenna out of the Protos. So there's no surprises there. We've seen that that works. The other box I got was this, the Goggles Ascent. And I can tell you right now, these were designed, obviously, by the Marquis de Sade. Yes, that gentleman who took pleasure in inflicting pain on people in the most unusual ways. He was obviously the lead designer of these goggles because, my God, they hurt. I could go off on a big rant here and say how terrible things are, but I've got to remember, in the back of my mind at all times, this is a really cheap system. You get what you pay for, and you can't criticize it as if it was a set of DJI, Goggles 3 or something. You can't do that because it costs a fraction of the price. So let's take a look at these goggles. Here they are, conveniently. There we go. You've seen, everyone's reviewed these. I mean, they're box goggles. I'm not a great fan of box goggles. There's too many compromises for my mind in box goggles, but I figured that at the price, give them a crack, give them a try. Set aside your biases and prejudices and review them honestly. So I have had a chance to turn them on and put them on. A few observations. First of all, they're quite heavy. This is quite a firm plastic, and in a way that's good because they're not going to get easily broken, but they are quite heavy. And if you notice, there's no top strap. There's nothing to stop them sagging because the weight will naturally tend to pull them down like this, which I think they should have put a top strap on, and you'll see why in a moment. Now there's controls down here, they all seem to work. There's optics in there. The optics are pretty good. I've got to say, for box goggles, I'm quite impressed with the optics. They do the job. I can see, there's no focus issues or whatever. That's excellent. There's foam along the side, but this is where the first of the problems come. I have a European head. I got it in Europe last time I was there, traded in the old one. And European heads have quite a sort of a curve. They're not very flat. Asian and Oriental faces tend to be fairly flat, So this has, I think, been designed and tested by someone of a Oriental persuasion with a relatively fat face, because when I put them on, massive light leaks down the side. There's like about 6 or 7 millimeters. I think that's about 3 bushels in American money. 6 or 7 millimeters of gap either side. So the light just shines in the back. It ruins the experience for me. And even if I pull them up really tight, it doesn't get rid of the light leak around the side because it just pushes my face further into there. So I'll buy some foam. So I'm not ranting, not overly critical. I'll buy some foam, a little sticky fact foam, put it on here. Should solve that light leak problem, not a problem. And for the money, I'm willing to accept that. Now, something else that is a little harder to bear is Europeans have big honkers, big noses. Look, I got a big nose. Some people are worse than me, but I'm pretty bad. And Asians tend to have somewhat flatter, shorter noses, flatter, more compliant with the flat face and thing. It's not a criticism, it's an observation. I'm not racist in any way, shape or form, just drawing the differences. The people who designed this are not necessarily the people who are going to use it. We should bear that in mind. But this nose piece here, it's got this lovely squishy foam. It's fantastic. This is just hard plastic. It's just plastic, listen. This is the foam. This is the nose. And it's got a sharp edge. So when you put this on your European face with your Roman nose, it hurts. As I say, Marquis de Sade would be most pleased with this device as a method of torture. Again, I will try and mitigate this by putting some sticky-backed foam rubber in there, foam plastic. Hopefully that will just provide the necessary support and insulation from the sharp edges. Also, because to see the proper bottom of the OSD on here, the goggles, you have to actually have them quite a way down your nose to see. If I put them up here, I can't see the bottom of the LCD. If I put them down there, I can. So another way is if I have something that tilts them up a bit, that will enable me to see the bottom of the screen. So let me put them on and show you why we need a top strap on these things. Here we go. Sorry to cover up the beauty, but you have to do that in the name of science. Now, when most people fly, they tend to have a slightly head-down attitude anyway. I'm trying to get these right. And what do you notice here? Well, there's patch antennas in here, right? Patch antennas are directional. They go like that. So when I put my head down like this, and when it sags like that, all they do is look at the ground. Well, now my aircraft is going to be out there, not down there. So I'm going to lose the benefit of patch antennas because they're not going to be pointing high enough. They're going to be hanging down. Now, a top strap would help keep the nose of these goggles up, as I'm hoping will the foam rubber that I put in there, the foam plastic, will nose them up a bit. So I'll be experimenting. There are design flaws, but they can hopefully be mitigated through the judicious use of sticky-backed foam. We'll find out. I'll test and see. Now, other than that, the clarity and the resolution of the display is excellent. I love it. The optics are really good. And I think you could probably wear glasses in there unless you've got those great big Dame Edna Everage glasses with the things. But if you've got reasonably small glasses, you can wear them. I think there's a place for, I think you can put diopters in there somehow, can you? Oh yeah, there seems to be I don't know. If you wear glasses, you'll find out. Now, when something's made down to a price, I don't mind because you're saving money. But I do get a little bit pissed off when they spend money on unnecessary stuff. It's got a lovely light bar here. See that light bar? Ooh, it glows bright. If I'm wearing the goggles, I can't see that light bar. Why do I need that? Maybe it's a status thing. I haven't checked out. Maybe it shows you whether it's bound up or something. DJI doesn't seem to have a light bar, doesn't seem to need it. Why are we paying for something we don't need when we don't get something we do need, such as a top strap or some foam on the nose? Just saying. Not ranting, honestly, not ranting. When you get the goggles, you don't get a battery. So you don't have to worry about that. The concerns that Ian on Madstech raised with the safety of the CaddX battery. You don't get one. It just comes with a barrel connector and an XT60, so you can plug in anything, 2, 3, 4 cell, you're good to go. Not a problem. So there we go. I'm all ready to go, basically. I've got my Outlaw 250. I just rip off the Velcro that's holding the analog backpack on, put the new, this one, the one that I made, see that? Which has got the camera, the board, and the antenna. Just put that on top of the Outlaw 250. I'll have to put I have to put a JST connector on the power lead yet, but I'll do that. Plug it in and away we go. Simple as that. Great, simple way to test out the system. Stay tuned for that. In the meantime, I just got to wait for the storms to clear. As I say, storms last night, thunder and lightning. Now we've got 3 days of gales, but I'll try and find a little gap in there. If I can, get out there and test it. But as soon as the weather allows, I'll be testing this, hopefully with some good news that will encourage you to perhaps look at it as an option. As I said, I paid for this with my own hard-earned cash. And so, as is usually, whether I pay or not, my reviews are completely objective and trying to bring you facts and information. And where I've got an opinion, I'll voice it as an opinion, like my opinion regarding Boss goggles and the association of that Marquis de Sade guy with these. Stay tuned. I will have far more to say, and I'll have far more information in the next video. In the meantime, thank you for watching. Thank you to my friends on Patreon who support my efforts to keep you from wasting your money and enable you to spend your money wisely in the hobby, because everything's getting more expensive. There's tariffs, there's lack of supply. The services of my channel now are more important than ever, which is why I'm out there cleaning up my studio to make sure that I've got a full summer of reviews for you guys, and hopefully you'll find them useful. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye for now.